Okay, YouTube version of trivia. I'm gonna do this quick, but you know the drill. Here we go. Rules, same as ever. Your first category, in the news. 5 questions about stuff that's happened since last week. Your first one, with what Simpsons character did the Conservative Party of Alberta invoke comparisons of their premier to after borrowing some material from a Valentine's Day episode last week in a promotional ad? Question 2. What character did President Joe Biden play in a game of Mario Kart against his granddaughter this week? So who was he playing as? Question 3. Who is set to play Cruella de Vil in a live-action origin story of the 101 Dalmatians villain? Question 4. To what team did the Toronto Maple Leafs blow a 4-goal lead against this week? And their last in the news question, in a lengthy vitriolic statement this week, who did Donald Trump call an unsmiling political hack? Okay, your next category is called movie transformations. I'm going to show you an image of an actor wearing heavily makeup. You just have to tell me who they are. Here's your first one. Who is this? We have this person. And this person. Number 4. And your last one. Okay, your next category is the Korean War. 5 questions about the Korean War. Here's your first question. What year did the Korean War start when the North invaded the South? Question 12. Early on in this war, South Korean and U.S. forces were rapidly pushed back on the peninsula until a daring UN amphibious counter-offensive cut off many of the North Korean forces. Where did this offensive take place? Next question. Now firmly the aggressors, the UN forces pushed the North Koreans back almost all the way to the Chinese border, which led to an incursion by Chinese forces. What river is the border between China and North Korea? Question 14. Approximately how many Canadians participated in the the Korean War? Is it 10,000, 25,000, or 50,000? Your last question in this category. The Korean War ended in essentially a draw as very little territory changed possession between the two sides. The pre-war border very much resembles the post-war border and is centered around what line of latitude? Okay, your last category in round number 1 is logos. So I'm going to show you a logo. You have to tell me the organization that it represents. Here's your first one. Your next one. '18. 19. And your last question in round number 1. Okay, that's the end of round number 1. Let's do some answers. So the Simpsons character that they stole from was Ralph Wiggum. But if you said Lisa Simpson, it's kind of right too, but they were calling him Ralph Wiggum. Joe Biden played as Luigi when he played Mario Kart. Cruella de Vil will be portrayed by Emma Stone. The Leafs blew a 4-goal lead to Ottawa, and Donald Trump called Mitch McConnell a political hack. Movie transformations. So this is Tilda Swinton. This is Jennifer Lawrence. This is Jim Carrey. This is Tom Cruise. And the last one, this is Eric Stoltz from the movie Mask. Korean War. The Korean War started in 1950. This counteroffensive took place in Incheon. It's an amphibious invasion. The river that separates China and North Korea is the Yalu. Approximately 25,000 Canadians participated in the Korean War, and the border between North and South Korea is at the 38th parallel. Logos, this is Tesla, HSBC, the Houston Rockets, this is Bad Boy Retail, and this is Atari. Okay, let's move on to round number 2. Your first category is Family Day. I'm going to give you the names of a few members of a family, and you just have to tell me what family that is, the name of the family. Here we go. First one, we have Doug, Cole, and Ella. What is this family? Next, Brian, Dwayne, Daryl, and Brent. Next, we have Peter, Lois, Meg, and Chris. And you have Sophie, Xavier, Ella, Grace, and Hadrian. And the last one, John, Holly, Lucy, and Jack. Just give them the last names. Some of the families are real and some of them are fictional. Okay, your next category is the fifth element. Here we go. Your first question, what is the fifth element on the periodic table? Next, who is fifth in the line of succession to the British throne? Next, you have what is the fifth largest population center in Canada? What is the fifth book in the Chronicles of Narnia? And finally, who is the star of the 1997 sci-fi film The Fifth Element? And for a bonus point, who directed it? Okay, your next category is called Lonely Island. I'm going to show you an image of an island with no context. You have to tell me what island it is. Here's your first one. And we have this one. Number 3. 34. And 35. Okay, your last category, round number 2, is contains a double letter. In this category, every answer will contain a double letter. Here's your first clue. In botany, a plant with parts that are thickened or fleshy, usually to retain water in arid climates. Question 37. Star of the X-Files and The Fall. Question 38. A type of earthenware that is clay-based where the fired body is porous, literally the Italian word for baked earth. Question 39. This popular type of popsicle made by Nestle. And your last clue in round number 2, a grape-based pomace brandy popular in northern Italy. Okay, that's round number 2. Let's take up some answers. Families, Doug, Cole, and Ella. And missing from this list is Kamala. This is the second family. Brian, Dwayne, Daryl, Brent all made the NHL, as did 2 more brothers. This is the Suitors. Famous hockey family of Canada. Peter, Lois, Meg, and Chris. That is the Griffins from Family Guy. Sophie, Xavier, Ella, Grace, and Hadrian, that's the Trudeaus. And the last one, John, Holly, Lucy, and Jack, that is the McLeans from Die Hard. The fifth element periodic table is boron. Fifth in the line of succession to the throne is Prince Louis, or Louis, I don't know. Fifth largest population center in Canada, that's Edmonton. Fifth book in the Chronicles of Narnia is called The Horse and His Boy. And the star of the Fifth Element is Bruce Willis, and it was directed by Luc Besson. Islands. This is South Island of New Zealand. This is Vancouver. This is Sardinia in the Mediterranean. This is Borneo, and the last one is Baffin Island. Double letters in botany, plant with parts that are thickened or fleshy to retain water, something like a cactus there, called succulents. Star of the X-Files, that's Gillian Anderson. Type of earthenware is the word for baked earth, that's terracotta. This popsicle is called an Ithaca-Doozy. And the grape-based pomace brandy is grappa. Okay, round number 3. First category is called TV deaths. So this is all about notable deaths of TV characters. So a bit of spoilers, I guess, but these shows are all finished. Here's the first clue or question. How did Charlie Harper from 2.5 Men get killed off after Charlie Sheen was fired from the show? Question 42. Who shot JR? Although my understanding is he didn't die, but it's just who shot him. Question 3. What mentor of Lisa Simpson died in the season 6 episode Round Springfield? Question 4. What young woman was killed in the beginning of the series to set off the events of Twin Peaks? It's even basically before the show even starts. And your last question. What series' protagonist's wife is murdered by a treacherous colleague at the end of the first season? Hopefully there's only one of these. And moving on, our next category is called Which is Bigger? So I'm going to give you a number of clues, and you just have to tell me which is the larger number. Here's your first one. Which is bigger, the number of Super Bowls won by the 3 winningest QBs in Super Bowl history, or the number of sides of a dodecahedron? Next question. Which is bigger, the number of members of the Fellowship of the Ring, the number of husbands that Zsa Zsa Gabor had, or the number of countries that border India? Question 48. Which is bigger, the teeth an adult human typically has, the number of Canadians that have won a Nobel Prize, or the age of pop star Bruno Mars? Question 49. Which is bigger, the number of seats won by the Conservative Party in the 2019 Canadian federal election, the height in meters of the Statue of Liberty, or the number of calories in a 330 milliliter can of Coke? And your last question in this category, which is bigger, the number of episodes of Coronation Street, the number of games won in franchise history by the New York Yankees, the number of Walmart stores worldwide, or the sum of 83 squared plus 51 squared? Okay, moving on to general knowledge, 5 random questions. Here's your first question. What does the word Fresnel mean? Is it a type of lens often found in lighthouses, a medieval torture device common to France, or an innovation used in fortress defense that is placed at the bottom of walls to direct cannon fire away from the vulnerable base? Question 52. What animal are you eating if you are eating lawn pig? Question 53. What English rock band was formed at Charterhouse School in Surrey in 1967 by, among others, Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford, and would go on to sell over 100 million albums worldwide? Question 54. What is the typical distance between wall studs for modern homes? And question 55, your last general knowledge. What is the term in high-end fashion for a garment constructed by hand from start to finish with the intention of creating an exclusive custom-fitting outfit? Okay, let's do the 3-pointers. Here's your first one. Name any 3 of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Question 57. Between 2013 and 2017, Chadwick Boseman starred in 3 biopics. For a point each, name the iconic figures he played in these movies. Question 58. For a point each, name the 3 individuals with the most Australian Open singles tournament championships. Question 59. Who were the 3 members of the second Roman triumvirate? And question 60, your last question of the night. According to 2019 sales data, which 3 Canadian provinces consume the most beer per capita? Okay, that's the end of round number 3. Let's take up the answers. So in Two and a Half Men, Charlie Harper is pushed in front of a train, but I'm pretty sure it happens off screen. 42, JR was shot by Kristen Shepard, which is his sister-in-law. So if you put sister-in-law, that's fine too. The mentor of Lisa Simpson who died is Bleeding Gums Murphy. 54, the woman whose death is the whole plot of the show Twin Peaks. Her name is Laura Palmer, and the series protagonist's wife that's murdered by a colleague at the end of the first season. That happens in 24. Bigger, which is bigger? So the dodecahedron has 12 sides, and that is smaller than the number of Super Bowls won by Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and Terry Bradshaw combined, which is 15. So your answer is the Super Bowl thing. There are 7 countries that border India. There are 8 members of the Fellowship of the Ring, and Zsa Zsa Gabor had 9 husbands. So that's your answers, Zsa Zsa. There have been 27 Canadians to win a Nobel Prize, and typical adult has 32 teeth, and Bruno Mars is 35 years old. So your answer is Bruno Mars. So this one, the Statue of Liberty is 93 meters tall. The Conservative Party won 121 seats, and there are 139 calories in a can of Coke. So your answer is Coke. And the last one, 83 squared plus 51 squared is equal to 9,490. There have been just over 10,000 episodes of Coronation Street. The New York Yankees have won slightly more games, 10,400. So your answer is Walmart. There are 11,500 Walmarts worldwide. General knowledge, Fresnel is a type of lens often found in lighthouses. If you're eating lawn pig, you might want to stop because you're eating human. 53, this rock band that would go on to massive success, that's Genesis. The typical distance between wall studs is 16 inches, and this fashion term, that is haute couture. 3 pointers, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse were war, famine, pestilence, and death. This is them depicted in the show Supernatural. Chadwick Boseman, the 3 biopics, he played Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and Thurgood Marshall. The 3 individuals with most Australian Open titles are Margaret Court, Novak Djokovic, and Serena Williams. The 3 members of the second triumvirate were Augustus, Mark Antony, and some dude named Lepidus. And your last question of the night, the 3 provinces that consume the most beer are Newfoundland, Quebec, and PEI. So that's the end of the night. Hope you had fun. See you next time.